What's going on, people? It's your boy Clive Belvin. Welcome to the latest episode of The Wayne. With me today, boys, give us a shout.
Steve in the house.
Ray's back in the building.
What a night of boxing. What a fucking night of boxing. So yeah, Anthony Joshua lost by TKO in the 7th round to Mexican finest Andy Ruiz. Joshua was put down in the canvas 4 times before we crowned Mexican's first ever world heavyweight champ. Ruiz, who now has 33 wins, had only lost one other fight to Matchroom's latest signing, Joseph Parker, former WBO champ. Anthony Joshua tipped the scales at a perfect weight of 17 stone. Boys, what the fuck happened last night?
Well, it was on the cards with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's had these frailties since he turned pro. They did a good job of disguising them. I think he was in a very fortunate position. He was leading the heavyweight. He was leading the heavyweight division, like in terms of the narrative, in terms of perception. But in terms of his talent, he wasn't leading it. So there was a mismatch between who he is as a fighter and what people think he is as a fighter, and therefore that was always going to come up for him. He's getting disparaged now. Like Joshua's, how the boxing fans work. He's now gone to the other extreme. Joshua's terrible. Joshua's not terrible. Joshua's a good fighter. Yeah. And he can overcome this and he could go on and have good fights in the future. But the way he's fighting at the minute, I personally don't think Robert McCracken has done well for Anthony Joshua.
Nah. It's crazy, right? As in, this is probably the biggest upset since what? Tyson?
Yeah.
Tyson
Douglas. Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson. I think it's closer to the Lennox Lewis Hasim Rahman.
I was just
I think Hasim Rahman was a top contender at the time.
Yeah.
Similar to Andy Ruiz, but top 15 guy. Good, but like one of the guys on the circuit, but not gonna beat Lennox Lewis. But these things happen in heavyweight boxing. Things to pick up with Joshua since he's gone with Robert McCracken, and I mentioned this after his last fight against Povetkin. He's dropping his left hand too much. Yeah. He's lost his jab. He doesn't have a jab.
Oh, the weakest
jab. He does. Yeah, he's paused with the jab. Yeah, he doesn't throw it. He doesn't throw any combinations anymore.
Yeah.
He used to have a really dominant jab, snappy sort of one jab, right hand on the back of it, and he would assert dominance with that. Now he takes a backward step and he launches the jab early. Yeah, we pause with this jab, and then he tries to counterpunch with the right hand. He's not quick enough to do that. He's not elusive enough to do that. And it just invites fighters on, and it allows them to get comfortable, and that's what Andy Ruiz did.
Yeah.
He was allowed to come. He was allowed to come in. He was allowed to start putting his right hand over Anthony Joshua's low left hand.
Timing him very well.
You've got your hand low. You're not measuring distance, and you're not jabbing against a guy who's got very good timing and much quicker hands than you.
And letting him come into his space way too comfortably.
He didn't dictate the distance very well. We call that distance regulation. He didn't regulate that distance very well, and it was the same thing against Povetkin. He done exactly the same thing against Povetkin. Left hand low, and then he had Povetkin hit him with every shot in the book. The only difference was Povetkin's 39 years old, and had failed drug tests before, so we don't know how good Povetkin was. They had a shootout. Anthony Joshua was young enough, fresh enough to overcome Povetkin. Yeah. Last night, he was not young enough, fresh enough to overcome Andy Ruiz, and he got found out. He was gambling going into fights, just going in and just having a shootout. Just no tactics, no nothing. Lost everything.
Thing is, he could look back at the Brazil fight, Brazil Wilder, and he saw Wilder put Brazil down in the first round. Joshua making his American debut must have thought, you know what, I need to put that.
But that wasn't the problem though. The problem
seemed like it was.
He didn't step on the gas though. For rounds 1 and 2, he didn't come steaming out and get caught with a shot. He came out and tried to box on the back foot, allowing Andy Ruiz to get comfortable. Joshua would have been better off, hands up, and coming in there and imposing himself in that fight. I don't mean recklessly. I'm not saying just throw wild shots, but if you know boxing, a nice stiff, snappy jab, dictating it, mixing up that rhythm. That's how you're going to deal with someone like Andy Ruiz, mixing up your jab so he can't time you. Yeah, Joshua didn't even have a jab. He was just pouring with his left hand. You can't call that a jab. How many stiff jabs were thrown in that fight?
Even the third round when he actually dropped him, the setup to it wasn't the greatest. He got him with the left hook, but he got him with the left hook, and then as soon as Ruiz got up, Ruiz just went back in there and he went back to his game plan. And I remember looking at Joshua like, why are you letting Ruiz get off to his game plan? You've just dropped him. You're meant to be putting the pressure on him, and he's putting the pressure on you. And then Ruiz obviously hit him on the temple, and I think With Joshua, he just never. That must have been a hard knock to the. I think it was 2 shots to the temple. The one that actually walled him in the first place, and the one that dropped him both to the temple. And I think he just never recovered after that.
So you know what? That shot to the temple. Imagine that was Wilder.
That's all. I was actually thinking that last night. Is it a blessing in disguise that this happened against someone like Andy Ruiz? Andy Ruiz, because you don't need to see. And I think I've said this on a previous podcast. Maybe it was about Amir Khan, but you don't need to see these fighters just get completely ironed out. Like they step up in levels and they find out, like when it's too late, what can happen against a look at what Deontay Wilder would do to Anthony Joshua right now. If he doesn't change his game plan, if he doesn't change the way that he's currently fighting, that it would be messy. It would have been messy.
Honestly, this is like when you alluded to Lennox Lewis, because I've spoken of a lot of group chats and got a shout out my boy Ozzy. He was saying the same thing, that this could be the biggest blessing for Anthony Joshua, because the same thing happened to Lennox Lewis when he was meant to be facing Tyson, the same way Joshua was meant to be facing Wilder or Fury later down the line. And this might prompt Joshua to change the trainer and say, listen, you're not that young buck anymore that can just rely on athleticism to get you out of this. You have to go in there with a proper game plan. The same way Lennox Lewis got RIP, the great Emmanuel Stewart. And Emmanuel Stewart helped Lennox Lewis work on his game. And then, you saw what happened to Lennox after. He became the great that he is. The same with the Klitschko's as well. So it's the same way I think Joshua, I know he's a bit of a loyalist, but he needs to look at it now and be like, listen, everyone's been saying it. Your trainers aren't pushing you to a point where you need to be. You're looking stiff. You're looking robotic. It was almost looked like he was glitching in the ring. It looked like a computer game was glitching. Like how slow he was.
He's lethargic.
Yeah. And
it's like, he was gassed out, right, in the third round.
We know he's got stamina issues because he carries a lot of muscle that he's packed on. It's not
that. It's just his body type. It's like McGregor and they're both that.
David Haye as well. Right. There's certain guys. They're fast. They're explosive, but they've only really got 6 rounds in them. They've got to do their best work inside those 6 rounds, or else there's going to be problems. The thing with Andy, I'm hesitant to say shoot the trainer, sack the trainer off. But there are glaring issues here. I think they've tried to loosen Joshua up. I think that's the plan. That's why this left hand is coming into business. But in terms of the game plan, you're right. What was the game plan? Because you came out and you boxed on the back foot for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But then you hurt him. Yeah.
And you let him.
And then you decided to have a trade up with someone who's got way better timing than you.
Exactly.
And got way quicker hands. That was the worst. You should have been boxing at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're a world class fighter in a world class fight. You hurt someone, you put them down, you stick them back on the end of the jab, you set up another shot. You don't go gung ho at that point to just try and bomb someone out.
Do you think the pressure got to him?
No.
American debut.
I think it was inexperience. We know that Joshua's not a natural fighter.
Yeah.
Joshua's an athlete.
He's an athlete.
Joshua's an athlete who does boxing.
Yeah.
And it shows. He makes bad decisions in fights. Yeah. He was trading up there when he should have been jabbing, moving, and he clearly won the round. Keep it moving, grind the guy down, chip away. I think they overlooked at Andy Ruiz. It did look to me like they thought we'll just bomb him out. I think he thought he could bomb him out at any given moment.
Yeah.
And they completely disrespected the guy's timing and speed. Andy Ruiz had the worst style for Anthony Joshua. Right? Everyone in boxing knew that. Everyone who was looking at boxing was thinking, all right, he looks like that. Anthony Joshua, stiff, no head movement, carries his hands low, stamina issues. Yeah. Andy Ruiz conserves energy very well. Very relaxed fighter. Durable. Good chin. Doesn't run out of energy. Carries his power late into fights. Carries his speed late in fights. It was the way.
I think it showed as well that when Joshua dropped him, I think the whole team might have been expecting, all right, Ruiz now is going to die down. And the guy just came back, he picked up his mouthpiece, bit down on it and said, let's go again. And I think
that's because Andy Ruiz is a fighter. He's not an athlete.
Exactly. It's true. He's a fighter, not an athlete. Some people are just built different, and I think that catches people off guard sometimes. Sometimes a punch that would have finished a lot of people, when they don't finish them, a lot of people don't have that plan B. And it looked like yesterday,
you see it all the time.
Joshua didn't have that plan B of, alright, cool, like you're saying, jab, keep on the end of the jab, then set up your punches. Because like I said, even the way he dropped him, he didn't exactly give him a good setup to that punch. They were slugging it out and he caught him.
Yeah.
He's still fighting these fighters as if he's fighting British title fights.
Yeah.
Where you can wade in on these guys and they're not going to make you pay. This is what happens in world-class fights, yeah, when you just try and wade in on people, yeah. They'll make you miss, they'll make you pay, they'll make good decisions, they'll be moving when they should be moving, they'll be punching when they should be punching. You see how Andy Ruiz started bringing in the body shots after 3 rounds, yeah? He weathered the storm, he was throwing the overhand right, he saw the opportunity to start bringing in the body shots after 3 rounds. That slowed Joshua down. Joshua's hands started to come down, he started to mix it up back up to the head. Clever game plan, clever fighting. Where was that from Joshua?
His jab to the body looks so like unenergized. I remember he was just like jabbing to the body. Just
it was just a rangefinder. Yeah, just a rangefinder. I remember I said that.
But even if you're pouring, pour to the head. Don't pour to the body, because if you're just pouring to the body, you've come close enough to get hit now.
If you're a tall guy, you'd never jab a shorter guy to the body like that in that kind of way. Yeah, you need to dip your knees and do a straight jab. You don't just raise
diagonally coming down.
Joshua boxed her. It wasn't a case of overlooking. It wasn't a case of stamina issues. It wasn't a case. Joshua boxed terribly last night. Joshua had no game plan, and what he did seem to do looked novice-y and just kind of like, I think he's gone backwards. That who was the guy from Essex that he was working with before? Yeah, he had him jabbing well and he had him throwing combos. It wasn't the best, but it's better than what he's doing now.
Yeah.
What he's doing now is like nothing. He's like do you know who he looks like? Carl Froch, and he's got Carl Froch's trainer. Yeah, Carl Froch used to drop his hands and pour with the jab.
Oh yeah.
Carl Froch used to get hit with overhand rights all the time.
Yeah.
The only difference was Carl Froch had intangibles. He had a great chin. He had a great engine. He had a great power.
He
had a great will to win. Yeah. Carl Froch used to get hit with every shot in the book.
He was just durable.
He was very durable. Joshua is now fighting in a kind of similar way. Hands drop low, pouring with a jab. Joshua's not that guy, and we got found out last night. So I am looking at Robert McCracken today, to be honest. I haven't been impressed with Joshua in a while.
I look at this as a spoken of will. I think this is a blessing in disguise. Had it been Wilder, Jesus, I don't think we'd have heard the end of that. And I think, you know what, we're looking at a rematch November, December.
Even Dillian White.
Yeah.
Jesus,
mate, it's fucking nuts.
So do you think the rematch is gonna be in the States or the UK?
I think so in the UK.
They're back in the UK.
Like, I think AD
Matchroom USA is on hold.
Some pause.
Yeah, we're putting this on pause.
We're taking this fight to Wembley.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think that, like I said at the start of the podcast, like, people are going to go the other way and they go, Joshua's terrible. Joshua's a good fighter. Joshua has enough in him to overcome Ruiz. Yeah, and Ruiz is the worst style for him and a very, very good fighter, as we saw last night. Yeah, Joshua has enough in him, but he needs to overcome them. We're going to see a lot from Joshua now. Yeah. And I think Joshua's going to win a lot of fans, because Joshua was a product, like, he was seen as like a manufactured kind of fighter, especially by hardcore boxing fans. They didn't like Joshua because Joshua was seen as this kind of manufactured thing who's never faced any adversity, and all the fights were like rigged in his favour, and it was all nice and easy. Now we get to see Joshua respond to adversity. If he wins that next fight and he comes through it and he has that moment, it's like when Conor McGregor came back against Nate Diaz. I don't know if the UFC fans, where Conor McGregor, like, all the UFC fans, MMA fans hated McGregor because, like, he's just this kind of whatever he was. But then when he saw that adversity and he came back and beat Nate Diaz, who's a fan favourite, everyone was like, I give it to you. And this is Joshua's moment here, and I think he can gain a lot of fans from this.
What if Joshua loses the rematch?
He is effed, because in terms of Joshua being the top of the tree, how does Joshua get back into the mix? Because he can't. He would have to come back as a challenger. Where the judges would be against him, the referee would be against him, the whole promotion would be against him.
No belts this time.
But he's got nothing to bargain with. Yeah, he's got a few. But the fan base, would he be able to sell out Wembley without those belts now? Yeah, that will wane. So he's got no money to attract all these things. So he would have to enter these fights on proper 50-50 even terms. Joshua has had a lot of help, and Joshua without all of that help, he can't get back to the top of that tree in that way, unfortunately. And his only option would be to go and fight either Deontay Wilder or Fury, cash out and leave the sport, because there's no way back for him if he loses.
Speaking of 50-50, Matchroom yesterday was having a lot of accusations thrown at them about the favoritism towards their fighters, with a lot of the decisions that went on yesterday.
Well, we saw the scorecard for the Joshua fight up until the point where he lost. I think one of the judges had him winning the fight.
which is that is nuts.
Right. So this is
That's crazy.
So we have a video on the channel called it was recent as well. Is Wilder right to turn down the 120 million from that thing before? Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And I was saying, well, when you fight Joshua, you're almost signing up for like a certain loss, because like you might do an Andy Ruiz, you might pull it out of the bag, but there's a lot against you. Yeah, the judges are against you. If all Joshua has to do is see the final bell, against Klitschko, he was ahead on the scorecards when he knocked him out.
Crazy.
Which he lost most rounds in that
Klitschko
fight.
was dominating that fight
Up until the end, but he was still ahead on 2 of the judges' scorecards. And we see it throughout matchroom shows. All right, Katie Taylor last night arguably lost her fight. Yeah, no one at ringside said she won. Everyone at ringside said the other girl won it by 2 rounds. Yeah, she walks away with a decision. Josh Kelly, everyone said he lost that fight. He did lose that fight. He walks away with a draw. Yeah, and there's been countless matchroom shows. So if you back yourself to win a fight, all Fury and Wilder are asking for is a fair fight, and they've proven they don't really care about the money. Because 120 million, Deontay Wilder could have taken that and sailed off into the sunset over 3 fights. But he's actually more concerned about his legacy. He's like, I want the money, of course, but I don't want to say that I got cheated out of my world title. I want to say that I had a fair crack, because they fought each other in a fair fight. Yeah, which shows for a lot less money than they would have got for fighting Joshua, which shows that they actually care about their records and they back themselves to win these fights. But they just say, give it to me on a fair keel. So, and looking at it last night, we saw this. Yeah, Deontay Wilder saw this. I saw this.
I think it was a case of Matchroom underestimated Andy Ruiz.
But do you think Deontay, after watching last night, he's been exposed now? Yeah. Do you think Deontay Wilder was scared of Anthony Joshua?
No,
I don't think either were scared of each other. But
no, but in terms of it, like you said, like Deontay Wilder was licking his lips at fighting Anthony Joshua, but he just wanted a fair fight. Yeah, people saying Anthony Joshua's Deontay Wilder's too small, this and that. I've said that a million times on this podcast. Deontay Wilder would have bounced that chin off of Anthony Joshua in the first couple of rounds, and he would have knocked him spark out, like we saw last night. It was always coming. It was always on the cards. Yeah,
he must be gutted to not be that guy.
Eddie Hearn did a very good job of dictating that narrative. I couldn't believe in this fight week that everyone was giving Deontay Wilder stick. The man has signed up to fight Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury in his next 2 fights, and people are saying that he's ducking Anthony Joshua after what we saw last night. These guys are deluded.
Listen, man,
you're all
do you know what it
deluded.
is? People see Eddie Hearn, but they don't see the master puppeteer, which is Al Heyman, man.
Yeah.
You got Al Heyman on your side. Listen, man, them advisors, because I was even on part of that train of, I don't like the way that Wilder's moving, but listen, when Al Heyman's advising you, you got to trust him, because a lot of his fighters, you can say what you want about Al Heyman fighters, they haven't spoken wrong on him. And I think the way that Wilder's been advised, it's just been better. I think the way he's handled himself.
But I don't think, like, Fury is the hardest fight in the division for anyone. Yeah. Like, Fury is just a nightmare style. Deontay Wilder signed up to fight Fury before he signed up to fight Anthony Joshua, who we saw last night.
But he had no choice with the Fury fight, though. Only because Joshua...
It looks like he has no choice.
Sorry, not Joshua. Wilder was dominant, but he needed to make himself more of a household name in America, and Fury was the perfect dance partner if it wasn't going to be Joshua. So I think...
I agree, but what made him fight Fury? What was he demanding? Why not take Joshua rather than Fury? Because Fury gave him a fair fight. Fury said,
"Oh yeah, of course."
Looking at it now, there's no way either Fury or Deontay Wilder were scared of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, people in the know, people who are looking at boxing, they knew he wasn't on their level. Realistically, yeah, they fought to a draw. It wasn't really a draw, but in terms of a fight, who would you rather be at the end of that fight? Do you know what I mean? Like Fury had to take some licks in that fight. They are elite. They are another level. Yeah. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter who was pumped up to that level through money and through glitz and like a few helps along the way. But if he fights any of them two, I don't think there's anything he can do to get to that level.
Now I still think he's got the ability to beat Wilder. It's just a matter of it's harsh, but he has to change trainer. And I honestly think instead of just doing one camp, he needs to take like more than half a year out to adjust to a new trainer.
Do you think?
Because sometimes the only issue is when they get a new trainer and they rush in, you can't unlearn certain habits that you've been doing your whole career.
Do you think Wilder Joshua is like Khan versus Madonna? in the sense that like if Khan bowled the perfect fight that night. Do you remember when he fought Madonna?
Yeah.
But there's still always that 10th round where that there's always that risk.
I think Wilder's a one-trick pony, but he takes that trick fucking far.
He's got 12 free minutes to land it.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's all it is. There's no boxing.
There's no boxing out throughout the whole fight.
There's no like Spilker 9th round, Tyson Fury 12th round, Luis Ortiz 10th round, I think it was. He carries his power any round. It's not like a David Haye type. David Haye was powerful for 6 rounds. And then it was kind of done. Conor McGregor type where Conor McGregor, if it goes kind of 2.5 rounds, he's not winning that fight. It would be hard for him to win that fight. Deontay Wilder's a weird guy. Like, he is just a freak of nature.
It's a weird one because even though he's got a lot of fast twitch, but it's not as...
There's a certain
power. He's less like heavy-handed.
He's just heavy-handed.
He's heavy-handed. With other people that you mentioned, like David Haye and Joshua, they are powerful, but they may not be heavy-handed. Whereas Wilder looks like one of those people. Wherever he hits you with, a tap a tap is enough. Like the long limbs will just make sure. I think that's why it also goes back to what we said.
Speed as well. He's so quick with it.
The way that Joshua's built and the way that Hayes built. When you're built like that, you can't go long rounds. Whereas Wilder is a lanky frame.
Reminds me of Dawson from Street Fighter.
The biomechanics behind Wilder is in his advantage. That the power, because he swings as well, that's going to generate so much more power. Where
terrible style.
Joshua is more of like a straight puncher, bam. So then if his energy leaves him. That power's going to lose pop.
We're thinking about Anthony Joshua's his boxing skills. He doesn't read a fight very well. He hasn't really got a great fight IQ. He's not very elusive. Then throw in the stamina issues that we haven't really discussed. Deontay Wilder carries his power late. Anthony Joshua is literally hands by his side. 6 rounds done. He's absolutely knackered. Last night, the referee said walk forward, and he physically couldn't walk forward. He was leaning against the ropes. That was tiredness as well as he didn't really look particularly hurt.
That was a good call from a ref as well. People don't give the ref enough credit. I saw a lot of people saying they should have given him a chance. The ref done the right thing.
He's done 4 times.
He saw he was done.
Do you know what I mean? And that is a cash cow. That's a brave referee, to be fair, because he did look fine. You know what I mean? And
his body was done.
He was shattered. He was absolutely, and that's what happens. That's what happens to Andy Joshua in fights. It happened to him against Klitschko. It happened to him against Dillian White. He falls apart. 6 rounds, 7 rounds. He hands by the side. He's breathing. He took the gum shield out of his mouth last night because he wanted to get more oxygen. That's a massive sign of weakness in boxing. That shows that you're desperately tired.
You think Joshua needs to do a young camp in Big Bear or something to just get that?
I think so, man.
But one thing as well,
Russian.
We
Russian
discussed
Olympic team.
No comment. One thing we did mention before we even started recording. Shout out Andy Ruiz, because a lot of people are taking this victory away from Andy like he didn't fight a very good fight. They're blaming a lot of it on Andy Joshua, but it's like Andy Ruiz still had to win it.
I can't believe that
Andy Ruiz still has to win it.
I can't believe Andy Ruiz is the heavyweight.
And you say heavyweight, what do you say, first Mexican heavyweight boxer? Listen, man.
Mate, it was a night of
shout out to Andy Ruiz, because I'm sure that next fight
James Milner won a Champions League medal and Andy Ruiz
put some more respect for James Milner, man. You can say that about Henderson, but don't say Milner.
Jordan Henderson captained the Champions League winning side.
That's more like it.
Some of the comments are coming across on YouTube. Fucking hell, check this one out. So Ruiz beat AJ like a vending machine that took his Snickers. Fucking
the internet is cruel, man. I hope AJ stays off the internet for a bit.
I'm showing this photo to the guys right now. And it's like an iconic photo of Andy Ruiz just overlooking Joshua, and he's put down in the canvas. And it's, I don't know, would you have that posted up, your bedroom wall?
Oh man, I might get it posted anyway. What about the one where it says you against the guy she told you not to worry about?
It's so cool because even I've seen
doing it for average Joes out there, man.
Like the famous ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith, world renowned, and even he was like, "How did Andy Joshua lose the butter bean?" And I was just like, "My goodness."
Mate, Stephen A. Smith, fuck him.
That was not Ray.
What's he gonna do, man?
Yeah, no.
But literally, I printed out his tweet, and let me just read it out. Yeah. Oh my god! I cannot believe this shit. Anthony Joshua, holder of 3 belts, gets TKO'd by Butterbean. I mean, some dude named Andy Ruiz Jr. What a damn disgrace. Joshua looks completely gassed, more fatigued than hurt. Now, how in the hell did you let that happen? How? Mate, that's
Do you
disrespectful,
know what, man? That's
American brash, isn't it?
It's not. Yeah, that's not. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, and like that just shows the fact that you know nothing about boxing. Do you know what I mean? You don't know shit about boxing.
So
Like,
Stephen A. Smith, fuck you, man.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you're commentating on something that you know nothing about. Yeah, like it's people like you, yeah, that gassed up Joshua to be this thing. You don't give a fair analysis of any of it. Yeah, these same people who say that Tyson Fury's terrible at boxing just because he acts kind of dumb. Yeah, they don't know how to analyze anything. You know. I don't know if boxing, but I think boxing is one of these specialities.
It's a cultural difference as well, because I also think this is the good thing for Joshua as well. Now he's gonna see who all his fair weather people are, because a lot of people are gonna expose themselves of jumping off the ship, and then he's gonna start realizing, oh, this person's not really.
He's got one more fight, like one more time to sell out Wembley. If he loses that next one,
yeah,
mate,
nah, he's gonna go back.
Stevenage.
He's getting he's got a bunch of wrong.
Billy Joe Saunders on the undercard.
Steven's been
Wembley
waiting.
Arena.
Steven's been waiting for this, man.
He's from Watford as well, man. It's like close by, man.
Listen, man.
Nah, even Troy Deeney's gonna turn his back on him, man.
Nah. Joshua will bounce back, man. This ain't like when Ronda Rousey lost to Holly Holm. I don't think it'll be that much of a fall from grace, but
Do you reckon?
nah, it won't. No, because the only
He's
thing
got one more. He's got the rematch. If he loses the rematch, though, Ray, where
I can't speak on the if until the next step has shown what they're gonna do, because he might not even face. Actually, no, they got a rematch clause with Andy Ruiz.
Because
I was gonna say they're gonna give him a gimme fight just to get his confidence back, but
I'll tell you, take all of that out. Yeah, I think he beats Andy Ruiz in the rematch. I think he's got enough about him.
I don't know. Ruiz is quality.
No, but he had that. Like I said, he has to make changes.
Yeah,
himself.
Yeah,
and listen.
I think a switched on Josh who I think he can I think he can reverse that decision.
He's got all the capabilities in the world.
I think he can stop Andy Ruiz in a rematch. Like, I'm not going to be one of these guys who jumps in. Now Andy Joshua's the worst guy in the world. He can't beat Dave Allen or something.
Yeah,
Andy Joshua's a world class fighter. Yeah, he came up short on the night against another world class fighter in a very pressurized situation.
Yeah.
But saying that though, if he does lose that fight, which is a lot of pressure on that fight, it's not a gimme. I'm not saying that Joshua's definitely going to win.
Yeah,
I think he will.
It's definitely not a gimme. Because this was meant to be a gimme.
It's not a gimme. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua going into that next fight. If he loses that next fight though, his game's up. Do you know what I mean? He's fighting for his career in his next fight.
The game is cruel. It's the evil world.
Boxing's like, how can you go from being Anthony Joshua like yesterday at 5 p.m. to today? You're fighting for you've got one more fight. Like,
crazy, right?
Boxing's very cruel, man.
Very
cruel.
How about this one, boys? So, after last night, what does this mean for Matchroom Boxing? Frank Warren's out there somewhere, just
salivating.
Oh, right.
I don't know, because it's a weird one, because it's like Lawrence Okoye's not the star that I think they would have hoped.
Mate, if you're pinning your hopes on Lawrence Okoye.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Okoye, I think Okoye and Boatsy were the two other people I think they were looking to like put their chips in, and for whatever reason they still haven't connected as much of yet. Boatsy's I think Boatsy's still building up a good rep. He just hasn't.
It's coming along nicely, but whose undercards do you put him on now? Who's the pay-per-view fights? Where do the pay-per-view fights come from? He's not a pay-per-view fighter. I don't know. Like, in the right fight, maybe.
Yeah.
But they have to now shed a lot of money, and in the right fights, he probably gets beaten up. To be honest.
Wait, Callum Smith or Boatsy?
I'm talking about Callum Smith.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that. If you put Callum Smith in like even money fights at super middleweight, they have to match him quite carefully, because he's not like good enough. He's not a pay-per-view fighter yet.
Canelo's looking at him as well, man.
If he fights Canelo, he has to give up everything to fight Canelo. Canelo will do him. You know, Canelo will beat him. Matchroom were going around like, you know, giving it large. Their whole thing was the Anthony Joshua commodity. Yeah. I was saying this from day. Frank Warren, everyone's like Frank Warren's like, you know, a muppet, blah blah. He's salty this. Frank Warren has a far more diversified stable than Eddie Hearn. All right. If if Billy Joe Saunders loses tomorrow, he's got Tyson Fury, and vice versa.
Got Warrington.
He's got Dubois. Warrington's his biggest guy. Yeah. You know, he sells out the Leeds Stadium. You've got Dubois, Joyce, and Gorman coming through. He's got a nice little stable there where it's all a thing.
And they deal with BT Sport.
They've got BT Sport.
Yeah.
His business thing isn't that invested into pay-per-view. Yeah, whereas Eddie Hearns was all about the pay-per-view. Every fight was going to be a pay-per-view. He put Galahad Warrington on normal BT Sport.
True, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was like Frank Warren has a far more stable business and like promotion outfit than like Eddie Hearn jumped on a plane to America and like it was like giving it the Billy Big Man. But like guy, he's got a humble pie to eat now. I think.
Yeah.
Or Dillian White might just shine through and might be licking his chops right now.
Dylan White got a couple of missed calls this morning, man.
Oh yeah, man.
I feel bad for him because then he's another one that's been frozen out because of the
That's
politics.
by WBC, isn't it?
That's by everyone because I'm not trying to be funny. Fury was like, I'll take on White, and then now he's supposedly got a fight with Wilder, but obviously I'm sure nothing's been signed yet. And then Wilder's frozen him out because he's got WBC on his side. And I think they're legitimately worried about... He's a legitimate threat.
It's sad because he's fighting for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Dillian White is like he won't. He's another one. He won't sign over. Like he won't just lose a fight. So they offered him the Anthony Joshua fight in April. Yeah, and he said it was because of the money, but really he was saying things like, "They want me to lose." Yeah, and he backs himself. He's another guy who just completely backs himself. He's like, I want to win these fights. I don't just want to get a payday and leave the sport. I actually want to win these fights. I want to become a star. And that's not really the game plan for someone like Dillian White.
Now there's blood in the water because I got a feeling that after this fight, if Joshua wins against the rematch against Ruiz, now White's going to be more confident of like, do you know what? I want this fight now. And then he's got more bargaining chips to say he's not undefeated. I gave him one of his toughest fights ever. Set it up. And now he's got more bargaining chips because of their history as well.
Joshua's in such a bad position.
He's
man.
pissed.
Even if he wins that Ruiz fight,
yeah,
he can't go, oh yeah, like, what you want 50-50? Well, I'm the big man.
I told you there's blood in the water.
You can't
now.
say that anymore. And also, the narrative up until this point was everyone believed in this fight week. Everyone believed that Fury and Deontay Wilder were scared of Joshua. Yeah. Everyone believed that, and now they're looking at it like, no. And can he say with a straight face, Wilder's ducking me, bro? We just saw you get chinned by Andy Ruiz. Yeah, no one's ducking you anymore. No one was ever ducking you.
I don't think it wasn't even Joshua saying it was Hearn. Hearn's the one that's put Joshua in this weird position.
Yeah, exactly. And he that's what I mean. He's gassed him up to be something that he never was. Yeah, like he was mugging off Lewis. He's just like, oh man, he's in. Yeah, Andy Joshua's. He's gone from hero to zero.
Imagine another span in the works. Imagine if Ortiz was to beat Wilder. This would be like the Royal Rumble of heavyweight boxing.
Imagine if he got Usyk entering the fold.
Yeah. And Usyk was meant to be
Tom Schwartz.
I remember Usyk was meant to be the one that's like they'll groom him for Joshua to face him at a later date. So then now Usyk's probably thinking
all the things. Do you think like Eddie Hearn's just like cringing all day today about all the things he said? Like we're just like, oh mate,
he's throwing the toys at the pram right now.
Oh man,
mate. I saw an interview this morning around IFL, and the thumbnail they went with for Eddie Hearn. Coogan was loving that.
Yeah, Coogan's like mugged me off one too many times. Oh man,
that was brilliant. But yeah, so that pretty much answered my next question, which was, what does that mean for the heavyweight division? So that's that.
No one knows. Like, literally, no one knows.
How about this? If Ruiz was to fight Wilder, because you would look.
Wilder's gonna keep him on the end of his punches and because you gotta remember Ruiz still actually got dropped, so it's not like Ruiz had a perfect fight. He still got dropped. It was his perseverance that put him through. But if Wilder touches you, you can have as much perseverance as you want. If your body shuts down, it shuts down.
And I don't think Ruiz isn't much of a puncher. Like he's not really heavy-handed. And it was Joshua's kind of. I know like you don't want to take anything away from Ruiz, but it was Joshua's inadequacies that allowed Ruiz to win that fight.
I thought Ruiz came in with some good counter shots, man.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
but Wilder's not gonna let Ruiz to go right in front of his grill like that.
Wilder's got quicker feet, and also, I think Ruiz would start to slow down 6, 7, 8. And then that's when, like, once those hands slow down, the head slows down, Wilder take him out later.
And he's good at keeping his distance, which Joshua didn't do yesterday. There's no way I can see Wilder just letting
people talk about fight IQ, but Wilder's fight IQ is a lot better than Andy Joshua's IQ. I know it looks weird. It's in a very unorthodox way. He measures distance. He doesn't get hit very much. If he didn't have a fight IQ, Tyson Fury would have cleaned him out. Yeah.
Well, he did. It was just the fact that he's so unorthodox that even for Fury, it's hard for him to like get his timing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But he's doing the right things. He's just doing them in a very unorthodox way.
Yeah.
He's moving his head. He's he doesn't give up distance very very easily. He's trying to set shots up. It just looks a bit weird when Wilder does it because he came to boxing late, I guess. But,
and a gangly.
Yeah, and again he's got a gangly frame as well. But Ruiz Wilder, they're both with Al Heyman, aren't they? Both PBC.
Yeah.
Ruiz is the Al Heyman guy.
Yeah, he signed him recently.
Listen, this is why I tell people I'm Al Heyman guy.
I was watching his interview.
He stays winning in the shadows, man. Al Heyman just doesn't.
I was watching his interview after, and Andy Ruiz went, "I'd like to thank God." And I was like, "He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it," but he didn't do the thank.
I'm upset. I'm upset. You always gotta give thanks to Al Heyman.
You gotta thank Al Heyman, man.
Yeah, just for that, you might lose November, mate.
Yeah, Al Heyman.
Yeah.
I'm besmirched.
Alright, cool. So I thought I'd share some tweets from boxing fighters, experts from around the world. Stephen A. Smith, we went over that already. Oscar De La Hoya yesterday. The difference was the chin.
The funny thing is,
experts out here, man.
Well, Joshua didn't actually get hit on the chin for his first knockdown. It was both temple shots.
Yeah.
His equilibrium was just off, and I think
never recovered from that.
Oh, yeah,
he never recovered.
I can just imagine De La Hoya just like a mountain of cocaine. The difference was the chin.
Stay in his fishnets.
Oh man.
The
funny thing is, he's in a similar situation. Like, if Canelo was to ever lose, Golden Boy is going down
again. Yeah, so you better just like he
better not get too comfortable.
Yeah.
They've got Spike O'Sullivan, Ryan Garcia.
No, he's another one that's gonna get exposed.
Yeah, soon. I can see Tank beating him. Girl fires. Do you want to read this one out, Steve? So it's from the Gypsy King himself.
Tyson Fury, he showed his class. We have our back and forth, but Andy Joshua changed his stars through his life. Heavyweight boxing, these things happen. Rest up, recover, regroup, and come again.
It's a lovely tweet, but I can see him ripping him next week.
Yeah, it's gonna come soon.
Why I like to imagine like so that tweet was sent at 4 a.m. Like obviously just after the fight.
Yeah.
And I can imagine he's like watching his boys. He's got the pizza there. He's chilling, and they're just cracking up. And he's like, I better tweet the boy.
Quieten down, Lance.
Yeah, Lance.
Do you know what I think it is? I think him being an athlete, he empathises with Joshua that he knows the ebbs and flows of being a fighter. It's not easy. So I think he's gonna talk trash on him, but not kick him whilst he's down. He's gonna wait for him to like get back on his feet, give it a week, and then he's gonna start calling him a dosser. But I think he's got enough respect for him to be like, listen.
But the thing is,
it's not easy. There's enough time.
The thing with Tyson Fury's like trash talk, he never really crosses the line, does he? He never says any sort of like I'm gonna kill this guy. Well, he calls people a dosser. Like, he don't even know what that means. Like,
you're big dosser.
You're big. Like, it's all entertainment. It's all a bit WWE. It's all a bit of a laugh. But when
malice in it.
But when there's never any malice in it. And then when things got a bit real, he was there, and it was I thought that was a good tweet. And I think like Tyson Fury is playing such a. I'm not saying he did it for marketing, but he's letting his personality come across now. And I think this was always his personality. I followed Tyson Fury since his first fight. This was always his personality. And now people are starting to see that side of him. It's just like a marketer's dream because everyone, like the real winner who came out last night, Deontay Wilder sent a terrible tweet that like, everyone was like,
that was a bit
that leave it. Anthony Joshua obviously lost to his thing. And then everyone's like, Tyson Fury, what a nice guy, man.
I think it was good on both of their parts because now what Wilder I think is doing is becoming more of the heel. I think Wilder's just doing everything to like get his fame more out there. So it's like, listen, he said obviously the kill remarks. Then he's like beat up Brazil in such a like emphatic fashion, and then now he's saying this. So it's like more and more the American crowd love a brash.
He's gone all in on the bad guy thing. He's not kissing babies.
And I think
food babies.
And then obviously Fury, and then Fury's coming the angle of like he's the jokester that you love to love.
Yeah,
and I think that's
the way they're promoting him on BT Sport is ridiculous. It's that advert with he's working with the guy in the office.
Oh yeah,
It's got boxing gloves down his typing.
I think like they're promoting him as like the everyday chap, like the guy down the road, like the Ricky Hatton type of role, but just with more charisma.
That's exactly it, and it's definitely working. Like people are loving him at the minute.
It's different cultures because, like I said, that's the UK culture. They love the supporting the guy down the road type mentality who is Fury.
Particularly if you're from the north as well. Like he's from Morecambe. You know what I mean? In London, there's a bit of a different kind of vibe. Andy Joshua took that kind of vibe, and it was very popular because it was very congruent.
Yeah.
They couldn't swap roles. They couldn't do,
Oh no.
Andy Joshua couldn't be. They're both good guys, but Andy Joshua
Fury's
couldn't be
not
Fury.
polished like that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And a little bit kind of street, but kind of polished. Whereas he's rough and ready northern guy. So
do you remember when Chisora first entered the scene and how they tried to build him up like some, I don't know, like Del Boy pretty much.
Yeah.
They even had him like drive a fucking yellow van.
Yeah.
That's before he was fighting Vitaly Klitschko. That was quite hilarious looking back. Nice old fella, Del.
Oh man.
I think this could be like the beginning of a dawn of a new like heavyweight scene, like heavyweight 2.0. Because don't get me wrong, it was already big with those three, but now with the Joshua loss, I think it brings even more attention. Because if Joshua makes this comeback, now everyone's really going to be paying attention. Like, okay, who's going to lose next type of thing.
Oh, it's crazy exciting. It's like, do you know what I mean? The storylines that they're doing are like they're better than the fights themselves.
Forget Game of Thrones.
So
this is where it's
exactly.
at,
So although they're not fighting each other, there's just content galore. And to be fair to Eddie Hearn, he is hilarious. And like the way he kind of sets it up, and he's going at people, and he's sort of taking shots at like old guys in suits. It's like, what are you doing, man? He's quality, man. But
boys. Before we wrap this up, so we normally have a prediction. Well, in this case, all right, cool. 2020. Who do you think is going to be the main guy in the heavyweight division? So to start off the year, it was like a three-headed dragon. So we had both Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. You obviously got guys like Dylan White, and now Andy Ruiz entering the mix. So if we got a clear dude for next year, who would that fighter be?
I think it all depends on if Wilder and Fury actually goes down.
Yeah.
If it goes down, then I think the winner out of that, especially because they got the iconic WBC belt, the winner out of that is going to be the king.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also depends on how emphatic Joshua... If Joshua does win, how emphatic the win is. Because, listen, if Joshua wins this next fight, best believe the marketing machine behind him is even going to be even greater. It's going to be like, the great comeback king. Yeah, he never stayed down. He always got up. And then now everyone's going to be like, yeah, we relate to Joshua even more. Like, come back from adversity.
They might relate to him and they might like him and buy tickets. But will they believe that he is good enough to beat the winner of Deontay? So just say, like you said, if Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight each other, the winner of that fight is the king of the division. Yeah. And then people, no matter what, Joshua gets in there and blasts him out in one round in December or whatever.
Yeah.
People aren't going to look at him and say that he could even like contend with the winner of Deontay Wilder and Fury at that point.
I see Joshua like The Rock back in the 90s and early 2000s. He's the people's champ. And sometimes if you're the people's champ, no matter what, they're going to be on you.
But people need to, like, people still be the people's champ. People will back him.
Yeah.
And the narratives and perceptions change. But when people in the cold light of day, when people pause and just say you got to, like you were having a fight week between Joshua and the winner of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. If you asked however many people who would win that fight, the percentage that would say the winner of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury would be about 80 or 90%, I think.
Do you know what it is?
Because no one, Joshua had lost a lot of stock last night.
There's two examples, even though it's different combat sports. But looking from an MMA point of view, there's two examples. You've got McGregor, who's lost quite a few bouts, but still his fan base is ever growing. So then that's part of the reason why, in my mind, I don't know, if Joshua at least wins one more, he can still have that type of fan base. Like, no matter if you lose, we've still got you. That's the only reason.
That's a really good example. Yeah. And I'm a Conor McGregor fanboy. Yeah. But and I ride for the guy. Yeah. But you asked me, can he beat Khabib? And I know he can't beat Khabib. Yeah, and you asked me before the fight, before when they fought last time. I'd say for a joke, and I'll back him like that.
No, you weren't saying that as a joke. You put it in between us.
But
I was voting for Khabib.
But I like Khabib was clearly the favourite to win the fight.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
You'll be surprised, but
no, there's Conor McGregor fanboys. Yeah. But if they was fight again, could no one?
Oh no, of course.
No one can realistically say Conor McGregor would win that.
But that's what I'm saying. Because then there's the second example I was gonna say is depending on if you got MMA knowledge, there's a guy called GSP.
Yeah.
Now he's now regarded as one of the best MMA fighters of all time. Now he had lost the fight when he was similar to Rui's situation. He was facing a guy called Matt Serra. He was meant to roll over and everything. Matt Serra not only TKO'd him, he made GSP tap to strike, which is a lot of people in MMA sort of a bitch move. Like, I can't believe he tapped to strike.
Quit, yeah.
GSP changed his whole way of fighting and went undefeated after that and became this big star. So then that's why I said, with Joshua, I can see him, if he plays his cards right and makes the required changes, he could be that guy that he came back from adversity, and depending how good he looks coming back and how different he looks if he changes camp, if he looks devastating against Ruiz in his next fight,
I don't think it'll be enough. I think that he would need to beat a Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury for people then to say that. But coming off just
not Ruiz, but if he dispatches of Ruiz and then the next guy after Ruiz is like a Usyk, imagine if he dispatches Usyk.
We're talking about the king in the division. Yeah, he would need to then go and beat Deontay Wilder or Fury to be the king of the division, because right now the perception is just like they're seen as elite up here, and he's seen as like so many rungs below them at this point. And it's going to take a lot, and then they fight each other, and then there's a clear winner between those two, and then you're saying that they're gonna like Joshua with that guy. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
I think Joshua will first fight the loser out of them two before he fights the winner out of them two.
It'd be stupid to do that because both of them will beat him, so he may as well go for the gusto.
If Deontay Wilder was to lose, it will still be a big enough fight, even. Like, it still gets it's even amount of money. So whether he goes for the Fury or the Wilder fight, it's still similar amount of money, because
he might be thinking I might just get outfiddled and outboxed by Fury rather than just get cleaned out by Deontay Wilder. That Deontay Wilder Joshua fight would be horrible to watch.
We'll see.
It would be.
Let's hope that Joshua makes
one step at a time. He might get Ruiz again in Wembley. Yeah, exactly. Imagine that.
Listen, man, Joshua might just switch up camps and then he's gonna be a killer after this. But all the best to him. Andy Ruiz, congratulations once again.
Congrats, my man.
Oh man,
what a fucking achievement
for the average Joe, man. What a man.
Like, I just cancelled my gym membership. Going straight to Mackey's straight after. 2 double cheeseburgers.
No, 100, man. I'm on the burritos, man.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Alright, folks, so that's episode 18. Like, subscribe, all of that. Peace.
Peace.